Neil, would you want to be a referee in 1997?
Well, in this state, it's difficult, and it is honestly more difficult now than it was when I was refereeing, in my opinion, because particularly on the Premier League, there's so many different camera angles which make it difficult, not when you're making your decision, but in the inquests afterwards. I think the game's speeded up incredibly so since I was refereeing. But even when I was refereeing, you had to pass a fitness test as well, you know. But it is difficult when you're in your 40s and probably in some cases early 50s when you're trying to keep up with young lads at 20. Very difficult.
What about that trial by television thing? Because I remember a pal of yours, Derek Webb, the original trial by television with the Clive Allen goal. Now, every time you sneeze, there's 12 cameras on you.
Yeah, Derek Webb, that was at Coventry, I think, wasn't it, when it hit the stanchion
and came back out.
And he was a good referee, Derek Webb, in my opinion. The right type to be a referee. But of course he was kicked off the list at the end of that season, so there's a model there somewhere, isn't there? I like characters. I won't say I tried to be one myself, but it seemed to work out that way. I worked on the basis that we all know the laws of the game, we've all got to apply them. But really it's about man management, it's about getting people to cooperate with you. Why do you want to go in your office on a Monday morning or in your factory and argue with everybody all day? Isn't it better to have cooperation rather than confrontation? If they don't want to cooperate, then you can start bringing the big stick out. And it worked for me, that, because the players in football and most sports are mickey takers. Now they're mickey taking all week. Saturday is an extension of what they're doing all week, and you've got to really join in with that a little bit. And I think they respond positively to you if you do that. You can arbitrate then, it's easier than being a referee, that, you know, being an arbitrator.
Have they taken that element of common sense out of the game, though? Because they've tried to cater for every contingency. If this happens, your response is. Does that then take away from your armoury? Just good old common sense, Neil?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's still your opinion. That's never altered the referee's opinion. And I think sometimes if you use man management techniques and get people to cooperate, that you can actually avoid the confrontation bit. I do know that there are certain mandatory things that referees have got to do today, but at the end of the day, you'll never get total consistency, will you? Because we're all different people. No matter how hard you strive for consistency, you'll never ever get total consistency, because your opinion and my opinion on a situation or an incident could be completely different.
When you get players moaning a bucketful about consistency, do you think maybe they should do the homework on individual referees, saying, well, he's going to be different from him, but week in, week out, referee A should react more or less the same way?
I think in the glory days of Leeds United, the Don Revie era, I know that he used to keep a dossier on all referees and the strengths and the weaknesses.
Do you have one on you?
Mostly weaknesses, I think, at Leeds. I never had a good time at Leeds for some reason. They were a hard side to referee, they really were. They could do round robins on you, you know, they were terrific really, but never really achieved the heights of Liverpool or Manchester United, did they? But they were a good side. But the point I'm trying to make is that if you're going to weigh up the strengths and weaknesses of your opposition, then surely the referee should come into that category. Where you've got total consistency or uniformity that seems to be the aim these days, it might be a wasted exercise. But I honestly believe that if the players respond positively to the referee, you get a better game out of it.
Do you think referees today get as much fun out of the game as you got at your time as the ref?
I'm sure that if they have a good game and people thank them at the end of the game, that they get the same satisfaction that I got today. That it is a great feeling, you know, when you come off after a game, if you've worked hard and it's gone well and everybody seems to be happy and your advantages work to assist the game. It's a great feeling, but it's quite a poor feeling when you've had a bad time. There's no pleasure whatsoever, and I can assure you of this, any referee will tell you this, there's no pleasure whatsoever in having sent people from the field of play. That's no good. But if you've got to do it, you've got to do it, because referees do not make the laws of the game. They're made by the International Board. And referees have always been the Aunt Sallies, Jim. Always, and probably always will be the Aunt Sallies in football. But why should they always be blamed for every... I've seen referees probably drop 2 clangers in a game, and they've been pilloried in the press by the managers next day. Two mistakes. I've seen players on 20 grand a week knock the ball over the bar in the 6-yard box. Is that not a mistake as well? And the man that didn't make a mistake was crucified many years ago, as you're obviously aware. And people have got to realise that they don't have to agree with referees and referees' decisions, just accept them and let's get on with playing football.